Hey everybody, is the Temecula and Murrieta market about to shift really hard? Yes, that is a Canadian accent, but in all seriousness, this is going to be a great video for both buyers and sellers. I'm going to show you some statistics and also give some predictions in moving forward into the fall and winter months. So make sure you watch through this whole video because I'm just going to lay it out of what I think is going to happen, and then also go into some numbers that might really help you as a buyer or seller moving forward. Just FYI, I'm a broker here in Temecula, and I really take some time every week to look at data so I can forward it on to my viewers. And I am now doing it every 2 weeks because I think it's important that we update you more frequently because the market is shifting pretty quickly. So the first part of the video, I just wanted to go over and show you a mortgage calculator. And let's just say in the best case scenario, rates drop to 4.5. Is that really going to help the housing market? So let's watch this right now. So I just wanted to show you this for an example of how it's still going to be difficult to get out of this and why I think that we still have a few months left of a downward trend. I put the home value at $750, of course. In Temecula, the average home price is higher than that. Also, Murrieta, let's even call it $700. But I wanted to show you the numbers. When I'm talking about the average family here in Temecula and Murrieta, my gut feeling is $3,300 to $3,800 a month. Many people feel comfortable with. Now, I put the interest rate at 4.5%. This is very generous. I don't even think we're going to get there. With 20% down, your loan amount is $600, 30 years, $9,000 in property tax. I'm adding a little bit of Melrose because there seems to always be some type of Melrose or special assessments. It doesn't matter where you buy. You don't have any PMI. This is what I was talking about in regards to home insurance and why it's making, even if the rates drop to 4.5, which I think we're going to settle around in between 5 and 5.5, maybe 5.7, because home insurance, a lot of people are having to go with the fair plan. I see Facebook posts all the time of, oh, my insurance just doubled, even at $4,000 a year, which I think is pretty typical. Maybe $3,500. You also have $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a year home insurance, $100 HOA monthly. Your loan or mortgage payment every month is still almost $4,300 a month, $4,223, with a down payment of $150,000. Now, just look at the whole. Listen. Think of anybody that you know. Who do you know that really would feel comfortable at making a mortgage payment or having a mortgage payment at $4,200 a month? It's just the buyer pool is so much smaller because of these monthly payments. And yeah, that's why I think that even though the rates are going to drop because of the home insurance, I don't see the housing market going crazy for a little while. It just doesn't make sense to me. Hopefully, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, so next up, historically, regardless of the market, whether it's going up or down, September, October through January is very slow in the real estate market in Southern California. Now, what is going to happen with all those leftover sellers that have been on the market 50, 60 days that didn't sell in August or September, and they're staying on the market? There's less buyers. People are getting ready for Christmas. People are getting ready for Thanksgiving. So the supply could be higher this fall and the early part of winter than we've had in 5, 6, 7 years. And ultimately, what is that going to do? It's going to keep prices either where they're at, or in most cases, or in my opinion, I think they're going to go a little lower in the coming months. Okay, so it's not all bad. There are still homes selling in that 10 to 20 day range. These homes are the pool homes with paid off solar that have a nice view, that aren't on a busy street. Yes, those homes are very, very desirable in both Temecula and Murrieta. So if you have one of those homes, don't worry, you will sell those. Okay, so now I want to go over a scenario. You're just playing with fire, looking at comps for 4 months old. Your home Yes, it would appraise at 800 because your neighbor sold 4 months ago. Same floor plan, model, upgrades, et cetera, et cetera. So you're like, I'm going to list it at 800. Well, that might not be where the buyers' heads are right now. What if the buyer's heads are at 750? And now here is where you're going to get in trouble. You list it at 800, 2 weeks go by, you get no showings. You're like, okay, well, we've got to do a substantial price drop. We got to go to 775. Well, the market already dropped to 740. So then 2 weeks later, you still don't sell, and you're like, okay, well, geez, we've had one showing, very little activity. Let's drop it to 750. Well, 2 weeks after that, what happens if the market's at 730? I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but it could. And instead of doing the auction style where you're pricing it low and creating some interest and putting it where the market could be right now, you might end up getting 760 with 3 or 4 buyers. You counter back and you have a bidding war, you get 760. Well, in the case of starting at 800 and the market's dropping, you're into September, you haven't sold the house. Now the market's at 730, and you're just basically, my whole point is don't get stuck chasing the market. I remember in 2008, the same thing happened. They're like, oh, this is so low. Well, it's lower a month from now. It's definitely lower 2 months from now. So if you are in a situation where you have to sell, you need to sell, at least think about or get some ideas from different real estate agents on how the auction style listing would work. Okay, so there is a scenario where I think that the market could stabilize, and this is where the sellers that are on the market now, the listing either expires or they cancel it and they just take their home off the market. If 10 or 15% of people end up doing that, well, it's going to lower the supply. And then we're going to be back in a situation where there's not a lot of inventory on the market, but there still is buyer demand. I don't want this video to come across that there's not buyer demand, but as I showed earlier on the video with the mortgage calculator, I just don't think there's enough buyers that can afford $4,200 a month mortgage payments. So point being is, if a lot of sellers start taking their homes off the market, we could see at least a little stabilization. I do not think the market is going to just skyrocket in the next 6 months, though. Finally, this is why I do these videos every 2 weeks, because I think in this market, you guys need to understand what's going on every 2 weeks so you can make informed decisions on just being smart, whether you're a buyer or seller, and get the most out of your situation. So again, thank you for watching these videos. If you want to leave a comment and ask a question, please do that. Appreciate you watching, and until next time.